So, we only have a few minutes left. Let's go through the quiz and do one or two more examples of what we worked on in class last week. All right. So, without any further ado, if we could have your attention, please. Everybody should have your quiz out. Oh. Yeah. All right. So, first question, we did really well with. Virtually every person recognized that this was the same size situation. So I got to get all my ends together. If I have 3 ends and 2 ends, I got 5 ends. 10 and 20, both positive, add up to 30. Then it's opposite side, opposite operation, divide through, and I get 30. We look very good on that. Alex, of course, is focused, right? Yeah. All right. Next one, add the exponents, keep the base the same. 5 squared. We had nobody wrote 25 squared, which is very good. And this is one of these key skills for the high school next year that we've got to be good with these laws of exponents. And some people wrote 25, which is okay too, but you didn't need to go that far. Next up, combine like terms. If I have 7 A's and I have another A, what do I have altogether? 8 A's. Kenneth, get rid of that. And then if I have 4 B's and negative 5 B's, what do I have? Negative 1 B. So it's 8A minus a B. Any questions? All right, now with the n squareds, we started to have a little bit of difficulty. Ronnie, you cannot combine n squareds and n's. N squareds are different things than n's. So the answer is going to have 3 parts. We call that a trinomial because there's uno, dos, tres, tri. 2n squareds plus 3n squareds make what? 5n squareds. 7n's and negative 4n's make 3n's. You can't put the n's with the n squareds. They are separate. And then negative 1 and negative 4 add up to negative 5. And then we did a very good job on this last one. I get 35 times 10 to the 13 because I had exponents. But by and large, we did a really good job recognizing that 35 is not in proper form. So I divide by 10, multiply by 10 to balance it out. And I get 3.5 times 10 to the 14. Any questions? All right. So that was day 2 of the quiz. I think it's pretty straightforward. You probably could tell by the way I was working on things that I didn't think it was particularly difficult. I was pretty casual about it. The grades, by and large, were pretty good. A lot of 80s, some 100s, some 60s, a couple of grades worse than that. But by and large, respectable. Let's, bam, kick it up a notch for tomorrow. All right, so let's go through the do it. And by the time we're done with the do it, we will have the key part of what we should understand so far down pat. And then we should get in one example of double distribute, maybe 2. And this is the last skill you need to know for the high school next year. So after this, we'll go back to reviewing just general content. But I do want to make sure that we're there. Okay. So slope and y-intercept, what's the problem with this, guys?
2y.
Right, the 2y. Good. So I divide by 2. And that gives me a slope of 5 over 2 and a y-intercept of 4. Any questions?
No.
Good. All right, so now we look here. If I have 3x squareds and minus an x squared, what do I have? 2x squareds. Diego, do not pack up. If I have 9x's and negative x, what do I have? Pardon me. 9x's and negative 10x's. Negative 1x, good. And then if, I don't have anything to go with my 7, so it's just plus 7 on the end. Now we get to what was the cornerstone of the last 2 lessons, where we said there's really a 1 in front of the package, and I have to distribute the 1 to all terms, a negative 1. So I get 2n squared minus 5n plus 9. This is all before the negative sign, so I don't change anything. Now, negative 1 times 4n squared is negative 4n squared. What's negative 1 times negative 2n? Positive 2n. Good. And negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. Get them together. 2n squareds minus 4n squareds is negative 2n squared. Put your hand back. Negative 5n's plus 3n's is 2n's is negative 3n. I'm a step ahead of myself there. And 9 and negative 1 makes 8. So those skills, you know, when people pack up, it's like saying, I really don't care and I don't want to learn. And now we get to the last point of the event. And the last point of today is the new stuff for today, which is what we call double distribute. What I'm going to do is, in my mind, I'm going to cover up the 4, and I'm just going to distribute the x. What is x times x? X squared. And what's x times 5? Guys, x times 5.
5x.
5x, positive 5x. Now, I'm going to distribute the 4. What kind of 4 is this, by the way? Positive. So I'm going to distribute the 4. In other words, I cover up the x, and now I just distribute the 4. What's 4 times x? 4x. And then what's 4 times 5? And what you'll notice with all of these problems is the middle two will be combinable. The one on the end, Ronnie, this is what we talked about before. The one on the end is different than the ones in the middle, different than here. So I have 1x squared. What are 5x's and 4x's? 9x's plus 20. And that's my final answer. So what you're going to notice today when you double distribute is you always get that number, those x's that can be combined in the middle. Tomorrow we'll work more on double distributing, Wednesday, and then you got another test coming this Friday. Hasta la vista, vaya con Dios, toodaloo, ta-ta. Leave it there, Chase. Smile a lot. Ciao. Leave it Zane. Adios, amigos, amigas. Cheerio. Joe, your calculator, Joe, and Chris, keep your hands to yourself.
Jamie Dowling to guidance.
Joe,
Jamie
Chris,
Dowling to
don't
guidance.
touch Joe. You may like Joe, he may be your ultimate man, but don't go touching Joe.